Hi guys, it is Aoife from Fred Weasley Died Laughing and I'm here with a very quick book review for you guys today. I managed to read Wild Swans by Jessica Spotswood during the week. This is a book that was out on May the 3rd by Source Fire Publishing, but I was lucky enough to be able to get a copy of NetGalley from the publishers, so a big thank you to them for that. But this is just a really great contemporary novel. It's a short book, it's only about 300 pages and it's just so refreshing and so easy to read, and I just really enjoyed it. So I just wanted to say a few quick words about it and try and get a few people to pick it up, because I think that a lot of people will really enjoy this read. This is about a girl called Ivy Milburn who is living with her grandfather in this kind of small quiet area, and she's kind of from a family whose the women have always kind of had these really great lives. They always seem to excel in something, and they're quite successful, but they've always died very young and quite tragically as well. So her grandmother drowned after her paintings went really famous, and then her great grandmother was a really famous poet and she was actually shot dead by her lover's wife. So there's all this kind of, you know, legend around her family, but there's also a bit of a kind of rumours and gossip around them as well, because, you know, all these weird things seem to happen to them. And Ivy was abandoned by her mother when she was only about 4 years old, and her mother left and never came back, so she was raised by her grandfather and has been raised to kind of she's always supposed to exceed at everything. She's supposed to be really good, the best basically at everything she ever does, and she has to work really hard to be this, and she still quite doesn't get there. So she has a lot of pressure on her and she just feels like she's always kind of coming up short in her grandfather's eyes. And this one summer she's supposed to have this great summer before her senior year, and her mother unexpectedly returns along with two sisters that she never really knew about. So she suddenly has to deal with kind of friend stuff and boy stuff, and then her family stuff as well, and all these weird crazy things happening with her family, and trying to deal with all of that as well as just being a normal teenage girl. So this is really great. I've always known I've liked Jessica Spotswood's writing because I love her Cahill Witch Chronicles. It's one of my favourite YA kind of supernatural trilogies. I really love that one. That's a really good one that I would recommend as well for anyone looking for something spooky and magical and fun, where this one doesn't have magic, it just has this really lovely contemporary feel. I think it's a great one to read for summer as well, because a lot of this is happening throughout the summer. So you do have, you know, the barbecues on the beach, swimming, you know, just kind of general sun atmosphere and sun settings, and it's just a really great one. As I said, this is only 300 pages long, just a little bit over 300 pages long, so I read it really quickly. I read it like within a day, and I was on my Kindle as well, so I was probably reading it even faster than I would normally with a book. But it's definitely something that wouldn't take you long. I think it's something that you could probably sit down in the sun in the morning and then fly through it for the rest of the day. It would be really easy to do that. So again, a quick light read. I felt really emotional throughout this whole book, because I really felt like the feelings came through the page and like onto me as a reader. My heart literally, like, I could feel my heart aching within my chest when her mother was saying really horrible things to her, kind of making her feel that she didn't care about her, and, you know, she was deserved to be abandoned and she didn't want anything to do with her, and it was when there were arguments and stuff like that. And I could really feel Ivy wanting to be accepted by her mother and loved by her mother, and she just really wanted her mum, and she wasn't able to get that, and for most of the book. And I just really feel like I really was aching for her, and I just wanted to reach through the page and shake her mum and say, come on, like, treat your daughter better. And then I wanted to give Ivy a hug as well. And this book was really refreshing too, because there were so many little different things that were mentioned and there wasn't a big deal made out of them. There was, her friend is like a really staunch feminist, and she like calls up anyone when they're being sexist or if they're doing anything like slut shaming or, you know, double standards for boys and girls. And then she's bisexual as well, and she's open about that, and she's really open about these things, and she just says these really great things. Her name is Claire, this friend, and she's just amazing. She's like the type of person that you want as your friend. Like, she will always have your back. She calls out one of the guys for saying that like Ivy can't go around kissing people even though he goes around kissing people, and she's like, you know, just because she's a girl she can't, you know, and she's really great at doing that. She's a friend who's bisexual. She has a friend who has a transgender sister who's quite young, and they're dealing with that, and they have some conversations about that, about, you know, how do you know if they're so young, maybe they'll change their mind. But again, doing things that make a child happy and don't make a child feel rejected or damaged in any way. And they're really, really open and loving, and it was just such a great thing to see in a book, because I feel like those kind of things don't come up a lot. Like within a community, there's always going to be people who, you know, have different sexualities or feel differently than other people, and to see that in this book and within this town and how people react to it and how people accept it or don't accept it, it was just really, really great to see. And then another conversation Ivy has with one of her friends, Claire, is they kind of briefly mention contraception when she's going out with this guy she likes, and, you know, she's saying, well, you know, I'm on the pill, I've been on the pill for a few years just to help with other things, and, you know, they just have this really frank conversation where, you know, she's like, well, go on, have sex with him if you want to have sex with him, just be safe. And I just feel that touch on contraception and saying, you know, just remember that this has to be something that you need to think about was really great, because you don't see that a lot in a lot of YA books as well. It's kind of something that you feel these things happen and then they don't actually think about contraception and stuff till later, or that nothing is ever mentioned. And, you know, I just feel like those things really do need to be mentioned in books sometimes, just to remind people that, you know, it is a big deal that you have to think about. But this book was just a really quick, fun read. It was touched, even though it was so short, I think I really got a sense of so many characters. They had really big personalities, you really got to know them, you really got to feel for them, and I think that's just a really great feat in in a book that isn't, you know, 350 to 400 pages long. It's only 300 pages, so, you know, you do really feel for the characters, and you really kind of think of them as your friends, and that was a really great thing. And I'm just so glad I was able to read this book and that I liked it, and I hope other people will like it if they pick it up. So please definitely go and try and pick it up if you see it in your library or anywhere else. So hopefully happy reading, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys again next time. Bye.